My video for January the 12th, 2018 is entitled Heroes Who Are Retired. To me, Anna von Reitz is a hero. She's a grandparent as I am. And like me, she keeps trying to get people to wake up and take action, restoring the law of the land, as was intended by our forefathers in the United States Republic. In fact, she seems to have more success in finding people who are actually willing to actually do something. I shared one of her recent posts on my Facebook page, but it hasn't had much response. Her report indicates steps taken in Texas that are somewhat different than what they are doing in Michigan. I wish I had people here in Florida willing to step up and create jural assemblies. There was a time when we had numerous people involved, but the cabal took us down, stopping the movement here. It's hard for me, knowing the truth about such things and not being able to connect with others who want to be more involved. Making videos seems to be all I can do at this point, though I am praying for more doors to open. Yes, it's one of those nights that I'm having a bit of a problem sleeping. So here I am at just past 1 o'clock in the morning, preparing a video, and I've actually been up already for 45 minutes at the computer, but I entered into a dialogue with a friend from the western part of the United States that I saw was online. And so had a little bit of a chat with her. Anyway, folks, I am chomping at the bit as I begin my 8th year of making the daily videos, trying to get involved again in taking action, such as is happening apparently in Texas and Michigan and other western states, mostly, not so much eastern states, but the western states, as you would see if you took time to look at the article that I posted on my Facebook page yesterday. I'd like to become active again with people who want to make a difference. Folks, you need to understand that the maritime law that we have been working under is fiction. It has no lawful jurisdiction over the people. That's why they turn us into corporations, because a corporation can deal with another corporation. But they use maritime law to do that. Maritime law, again, is law of the sea. They are pirates, though, because they are actually stealing from you and I all the time. Stealing not only our money, which they are doing, they have laid claim to the funds that are in our accounts that we don't even know exists. And they are pilfering on the local and on the state levels, as well, of course, the federal government, because they've corporatized the whole system, and it's a system of fraud. It's something we need to wake up and realize if we are ever going to be free. That's what I want. I want to be able to live without fear of some policeman that's been ill-informed coming to my door in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping. And of course, now I'm not sleeping, but as happened a few years ago, I mean, the policeman came, knocked on my door, it was almost midnight. When I go to the door, there's nobody there, no car in the driveway. Nobody in the front, no car parked in the front of the house. And I've told that story several times, I'm sure. But I got arrested in my own house for driving without a license when I just had put a robe on. I wasn't even fully dressed. And he almost broke my arm, wrestling me to the floor in my own house. And then gets on his phone and there's police cars everywhere on my little dead-end street. Folks, we retired people have more time than most of those that are still holding down jobs, and in some cases 2 jobs, just to make ends meet in a system where we are all wealthy beyond compare. Our work should be something that we do for the benefit of the community, not just for our own self-aggrandizement, not just for our own survival even. That's what it ends up being. We're working to survive, when we would be better off if we could realize how wealthy we are and we would be able to thrive. But the whole system has been turned on its head. It's all inside out and upside down. It's all a game that these people play. And some people say, just forgive them, forgive them, forgive them, and are teaching blanket forgiveness. These are criminals, folks. You have to understand. Even though many are operating in ignorance, what they are doing is a criminal operation. All corporatization of human beings that takes away our natural rights is a crime, and it's fraud, and there's no statute of limitations against fraud. These people need to be brought to justice, but the problem is we don't have common law courts established. Now, common law courts supposedly exist, but the lawyers aren't going to tell you about it. The politicians aren't going to tell you about it. The people that make it to sheriff, to become sheriffs in the local communities, have been brainwashed like everybody else, and so they're not going to tell you what they either don't know or conveniently forget, because that's their instructions. That's how they're programmed to behave. I want so much to see the Republic of the United States restored. And when that happens, it's going to have a ripple effect. It's going to end up freeing people all over the world. This was a gift of God, the establishment of republics as opposed to monarchies, and the rule by fiat. And I don't mean now, I mean by directive of somebody that claims to be an authority. That's what I mean by fiat in this case. We have to take back our power, but we can't do that until we come together and start working together to build the bridges that are needed to take us from the old maritime system into a new common law system that was gifted to us in the 1700s, folks. This was what the American Revolution was about. And with Lincoln and succeeding generations following Lincoln, it was again taken away from us. And we've been under military law ever since the Civil War. We've been under military law. And it's got to change. It's got to change so that we can be free, so that we can be prosperous, so that we can finally get away from the enslavement of a system that has lied to us over and over and over again. We need to be able to stand in our power, stand up, and to build a structure, an edifice of cooperation. And when I say an edifice, I don't mean that in a structural sense as far as a organic sense. We need to be able to take back our freedom. It's ours. It's a gift of God. But we lost it through corruption and our own ignorance and our own willingness to get involved. In closing, I just want to invite those that are in Florida to reach out to me and tell me how we can, once again, get started in setting up courts that are superior to the maritime courts that are in existence. Thank you for listening, and namaste.